So I thought, you know what? I've covered this subject a few times before, but I want to talk about colours, images, faces, and things that we see when we're in meditation, when we're in some level of healing, such as Reiki, energy healing, spiritual healing, whatever it might be. It's all the same thing at the end of the day. But we tend to experience a lot of things, such as, I'll just turn that down a little bit, such as colours, faces, images, and maybe people haven't seen the video that I made about it, and it'd be something to maybe discuss. So, but generally it depends on what happens on this live, because people might join and we start talking about whatever else. So this conversation can tend to go in many different directions. So when we're going into meditation, we've got three kind of stages that we have to go through. The first is just with the intention of just sitting down and deciding you're going to meditate, and you just begin by focusing on your breathing. If you go into the sort of the more spiritual Hindu sort of Sanskrit terms for it, so you've got Dharana, then you've got Dhyana, and then you've got the third one, which the name eludes me at the minute, but there's three different stages that you go through. So your first one, Dhyana, and then Dharana, is where you're going more deeper into your meditation. So you're becoming more focused on your breathing, becoming more aware of your breath. You're going deeper within yourself. And then there's the last stage where you're actually connecting more on an energetic level to yourself, to your body, to your mind, and everything's just getting into that nice flow state where you're then connecting to divine energy and divine frequencies. And it's when we get to that sort of stage, when you start to connect to that divine energy, you're feeling lighter, you're feeling more. You're feeling kind of like gentle. You're just in that nice flow state. It's a beautiful place to be when you're in like meditation or hypnotherapy or Reiki or any of those modalities. Hi Anushka, welcome back. Nice to see you here again. And it's usually at these stages where you then start seeing the colours. And usually the colours will form in different ways. Colours that can start to come up from like it with your eyes closed. It'll be like waves of colour going up, or it might be waves of colour coming down. It could be shapes. It could be, sometimes people have this sort of like where it's like a colour and it just expands outwards at the third eye. Jesus Image Africa, hi bro, hello there. Anushka, where are you from? I'm in the UK. If you're new here, please do subscribe to the channel as well, and then you'll get notified whenever I do go live and whatever. You can check all my other content out as well. Yeah, so these colours you tend to see in different waves, and depending on where you are and what you need to work on is what you'll see. It's the colour that is resonance to you, and a lot of people tend to see like purples, greens, yellows, light blues, dark blues. That they tend to be the most regular colours that people tend to see. And it's basically the energetic frequency of what you're going through. It's the healing from within. Greetings from Uganda, Africa. Welcome to our church ministry. You're welcome here. Welcome to my channel. It's lovely to have you here. Sarah Saleh, lol. Hello. But then sometimes what happens after that is, and what I found like in my early days of meditation is, sometimes those colours become shapes, or they'll become images, or they will sometimes become faces as well. Thank you for subscribing, Azaya Lee. Thank you very much. Is this about lasers? No, it's about seeing colours in meditation. So yeah. Where was I up to? Yeah, so sometimes these will create sort of shapes and images and faces, and that can sometimes spook people out a little bit. It'll freak people out because they'll see like an image of a face. And basically, what's happening when you're going into meditation, you're going into the various frequencies and dimensions of us. AC, thank you very much. Thanks for being here. Nice to have you back again. You may be quite busy today, AC, because I was yesterday morning. I was doing loads of button pressing, so sometimes seeing the faces can scare people. It can put people in this sort of state of fear, and it's nothing to worry about. So what's happening is you're going into various dimensions internally, the various energy frequencies within, and as you're going within, you're expanding outwards, but not physically. It's more mentally and emotionally. And then you're starting to connect. You're going beyond your etheric, and you're going into the astral. I don't need to put a mask on. Shush. No, I'm not sponsored by Israel. So that when that began kind of like early on for me in meditation, it was kind of like a bit like, oh, what's this? What's going on? What's happening? And I kind of knew that it was something to do with my energy system. Like intuitively, I just kind of like knew, but I was still a little bit like, I wasn't really sure what it was. Hi, Jude. And it took quite a lot of work to kind of like realize what it was and to understand what was going on when I was seeing these colors and images and faces and experiences. And you also, it's not just about the colors and things that you see as well. You can also feel things around your body. So you can feel a tingling, you can feel heat spots, cool spots. You just feel it maybe like a gentle vibration that's moving through your body, and that's just your energy body. It's just as you're quietening yourself down in your meditation, in your healing practice, whatever it might be, you're becoming more aware of your actual energy, and your energy. You're feeling the flow. You're in that nice flow state, and you're connecting to that divine energy that is within, that is always there. It's always present. Whether you want to call it your chi, your ki, your prana, whatever it is, but it is there within us. It's moving and fluctuating around our bodies the whole time. The more you meditate as well, and the more you do this healing work, the lighter you feel, and the more connected you feel as well to that energy. So it doesn't take as much work kind of in inverted commas. It doesn't take as much work to actually get there, because you become used to what it is, and then eventually over time it becomes more of a habitual way of being, really. So yeah, it's a really, really interesting process, but also it's nothing to be fearful of. When you're seeing colors, when you're seeing faces, when you're seeing images, it's nothing to be fearful of. A lot of the time it's your subconscious mind just throws a lot of stuff up. Also your ego can throw a lot of stuff up as well. So don't worry about it. It's fine. It's totally safe. There is no harm in meditation and in these healing practices. And so, yeah, you also find a lot of religious people won't. I mean, I've spoken to a lot of people and they really don't do meditation as such, but they might follow some practice through their own religious beliefs and what have you, which is fine as well. At least they are actually meditating. Jude, hi. Chris Noon, is God real? I think so. But I don't think of God as a being in the sky, a man with a beard. It's the force behind everything. One that you can't really tangibly put your finger on, and I don't think we ever will be able to. It goes beyond science. God goes beyond thought, and that's who we are individually, because we are beyond thought. We identify with thought, but that isn't who we are. That's not what we are. What's your thought on aliens? They are real. I believe in them. I believe that they're already here and they have been for many, many years. Sleep is more important. Sleep is also very important. You're quite right. But for me as well, if I am feeling like tired, then what I find is a meditation really helps me to it just sort of like reboots my energy, and it gives me that little bit of, I suppose, energy to go through the rest of my day. Solmaz, hi. Tharak talks. There is no God, at least the God we know is a lie. Well, if that's your belief, that's your belief. I'm not here to make anyone believe anything. I know what I feel and what I experience, so I'm not here to prove anything to you. I'm just sharing my beliefs and my understandings to people that are on a even keel, I suppose, and maybe open the mind a little bit. What are you drinking? I'm drinking coffee. The cosmos is large. We may find aliens, but we don't have fuel to travel to other planets out of our solar system. We don't, but they're already here. So I believe they're already here. They're already here in energy form. We just can't see them because they're on a different frequency. The frequency that we're in, that we're used to, is the three-dimensional. They're on a much higher frequency, so we don't see them. Give me some. I like your mug. It's a Harry Potter mug. So how's AC doing? I haven't seen ACJ for a while. Are you still here? Are you just keeping an eye on people? Yeah, there you are. Have to agree with that. Yeah, that's what I believe, that's what I think. We can connect to them if we want to. Where are you from? I'm in the UK. Tharak talks, I used to be pro-believer of God, now I'm just a person who wants food, sleep and money. So again, very three-dimensional, so that's probably why, you've dropped down a little bit. It's all still very important stuff to be, food, sleep and money, it's all still very important stuff. AC good, being busy, yes, keeping an eye out. We have the same eye colour. So, yeah, years ago, like when I did start meditating, it was something that I often thought, like, well, what's that? Why am I seeing that? Why am I seeing that image? But what I found as well with that over the years of practice was, if you start to become obsessed with what was that, who was that, why am I seeing that, then it kind of like it distracts you from your meditation. It takes you out of your meditation a little bit, because you then fall in the trap where you kind of, instead of following the thoughts and being pulled out by the thoughts, you're actually following what you're experiencing and seeing, rather than being more with the self. And when you're more with the self, you actually experience more, because you're not directing your attention into one area or another. You're just fully present to whatever is happening, whether it be the thoughts that are coming and going, because they will come and go. You can't stop the thoughts. You just observe them with non-attachment. And it's the same as when you're seeing images and when you're seeing colours. It's just observing them without attachment and don't connect to them. Um, so yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting process, and over it's just kind of practice really has to teach you that, has to teach you that way of being. It's one thing I struggle with, though I enjoy being in nature, and this I feel is also a type of meditation. Absolutely. I mean, I think a lot of people think that meditation is just having to be sat with your eyes closed, following your breath, and all the usual stuff, that the very stereotypical thing. But if you incorporate mindfulness into your day, then your mindfulness is actually a meditation practice. You're becoming more mindful of where you are. So if you're out on a walk, you're becoming mindfully aware of the breeze against your skin, or maybe the rain or the sun. You're being mindful of your feet on the ground with each footstep. You're being mindful of what you hear all around you, the rustling of the trees, the bird song, and all that. When you immerse yourself in that, it becomes a mindful meditative experience. So that's kind of like mindful walking. And you create a meditation practice through that. And it's a really, really great way to get into meditation, especially if people like yourself, if you struggle with, actually sitting still and just breathing and not allowing your thoughts to sort of like take you off somewhere. Using that aspect of mindfulness into your day helps to build that, and you become more kind of like aware and self-aware. Rustlerburger, do you like toasties? If so, then what two fillings would you go for? Toasties, probably like a cheese and bacon or something like that. I would probably go for. Tota fan, God bless you, bless you. Therak talks, the story is really a joke, God punishing for one apple. I wonder in which language the God spoke English. In my religion we pray 5 times a day, but I'm too much lazy to do so. Fair enough. That's an interesting concept, that as well. You're talking about God and how God talks. But God talks in frequency. God talks in energy. He doesn't speak a language. So when you're wanting to connect and listen to your higher self, listen to your guides, listen to your God, the messages come through in energy. And sometimes it can take time for the frequencies that you're feeling. It can take time for you to understand them. So when you're in meditation or when you're in prayer, whatever it might be, when you're wanting to connect to your divine energy, you want to connect to your soul, when you want to listen to your higher self, you want some inner guidance. When you're doing that and you're getting into that state, and into that nice flow state, it's an energetic signature that you're feeling for or that you're connecting to. It's not a voice, it's not a language, it's a feeling, it's an energy. There is no, language itself is only created through the human, through the voice, because of the 3-dimensional construct that we're in. But when you're connecting to God and frequency and spirit, then you're connecting through energy, nothing more than that. You know, and that's why it's all control mechanisms, the majority of it, because it's all being created by humanity. Humanity's created the messages, which have come from like Hebrew and Greek, and it's all been retranslated and recycled so many times to create a box of construct of what we think we have to be controlled by or listen to. But all we're connecting to is love. The only thing that actually exists is love, and it's the only thing that can be understood without trying to explain it. You know, love is love, and we are love. We're all on a frequency of love. And when you start to operate on love and compassion and having love for your brothers and sisters, and not arguing, not bickering, not creating divide, when you come into that frequency of love, that's where the truth is. The truth is there within you all the time. And we're not divided by what a belief structure. Some of them might meditate, some of them might pray. We all have our own journeys and we all have our own ways of getting there. But it's individual to you. It really is. And I mean, this is a perfect example. You're all quoting different things and it's creating divide. One believes this, one believes that, one believes that, one's saying that. It is what it is. If one person believes, if I believe that that's God, then that's God, because everything is God at the end of the day. So there's no point arguing with each other. It is what it is. There is only pure love, and that is all that it is. And that is God. That is the frequency. That is what we're connecting to. Not a written word that's been written by somebody else. Absolutely, AC. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we've all got our own belief. We've all got our own way of finding it. But you know, arguing this, that, and the other is taking you further away from God. It's taking you further away from your divine self. So stop arguing. Stop bickering about it. Stop bickering about what you believe is right, because there is no right or wrong. There is only your truth where you are now. And when you get really into that kind of lovely meditative state, and you're in that flow state, that is when you really truly feel that connection to everything, that oneness. It's only then that you're actually really in there. The majority of the time, we're all so trapped in the head of belief, of fear, of worry, of division, of arguments, of doing this, of doing that, of doing the other, and you know, arguing with somebody else across the road because they believe something different. You just like, stop. They believe that, leave them alone. They believe that, leave them alone. Just be. We're all following our own journey. We really are. And we just need to stop this bickering and dividing and saying that this is right and this is right and this is right and this is right. That's why all these different religions are created, to pull you all apart. You need to connect back to your heart. You need to connect to love, to that sovereignty of self. And that is where God is. It is within you. That is why Jesus said, the kingdom of heaven is within you. It's there already. You don't need all of this stuff to cloud it. Airheads, good morning. Nice to see you again. Haven't seen you for a while. How are you doing? Feeling much better. Had a positive, productive couple of days. Good. Good, good, good. Have you had a flu or something? There's been a lot of colds and flus going about. Prophets exist in all over world, some because became famous due to their charisma. Some really strange conversations going on. I want to donate to you, but I'm broke. It's all right. Just your presence here is enough. So thank you for being here. Subscribe to the channel. That's a good way to donate as well. You've put your studio and shop back together. You've been able to do work on artwork that's been excellent. Well done. Good to hear. Good to hear that you managed to get that done. I haven't, since my last piece, which was the dog, since that one, I haven't done any more painting. Thank you for subscribing. I try to go live regularly so I can connect to viewers, on like kind of like more of a one-to-one connection. Exactly, Tharak Talks. Quite agree. It is definitely a form of self-love, art and creativity, yeah. That is really connecting to your, again, as we were just talking before, connecting to your divine self. You're connecting to that creativity from within, that you are the creator. Yeah. It's been a tricky, I must admit, it's been a tricky couple of weeks for me lately. I've been feeling, that's why I've done a few videos recently about like kind of like being challenged, and I did that full moon in Taurus tarot read as well, about feeling challenged, and it was bringing a lot of stuff up for me, and I'm sure a lot of people as well that have watched that video resonated with that. Yeah, it's been a funny couple of, I mean, I'm going back to work. I'm going back to employment from next week, which is a big kind of like, it's a big shock to the system to have to do that, but needs most at the end of the day. Because my therapies and my practices, the Reiki, the hypnotherapy, I try to offer it as competitively as possible and keep the price as low as possible. But even in the current climate, even that's not good enough really. So yeah, I just need to go out and work and earn a bit more money. So at the end of the day, yeah, we do need money, because money currently is what keeps us ticking over. It's what feeds us. It's what we can do as an exchange. But when we're energy healing practitioners as well, the exchange comes in different forms. It doesn't just have to be money, but financially, that is what we kind of like need to keep things, keep the wolf from the dog, so to speak. On a side note, Ian was thinking of content for vids and wondering if you have done anything on Reiki. Don't work on people with broken bones. I have, but it was a long time ago, so I might actually do an updated version of that, because my beliefs have changed quite a bit from the early days. Let me make a note of that. Reiki do's and don'ts. Yeah, I did do a video quite a number of years ago about that, but I might do another one. Cancer, heart problems, and is this redundant now? See, there's a lot of differing beliefs about that. So I was at a friend's Reiki share probably a couple of months ago now. It was during the summertime, and she's a Reiki master locally to me, and she's in kind of like one camp and I'm in the others. So somebody asked her if they could give Reiki to someone that had a pacemaker, and she said that she wouldn't. But then she asked me, and she said, well, which camp do you fall in? I said, well, I would. At the end of the day, I would give them Reiki, because at the end of the day, Reiki doesn't do any harm, and you're only working with the natural systems of that person. But then she said, yeah, but then if they go away and something happens to that pacemaker, the first thing they'll probably blame is the Reiki, because they don't know what it's doing. And even in the Reiki manual that I use by Penelope Quest, even she says in there that you can give Reiki to people with a pacemaker, you can give Reiki to people with cancer, because at the end of the day, it's only helping and facilitating their healing. It's not causing any ill effect. So, yeah. That's interesting. You should mention that then. Yeah. So I'll probably do another video on that then, just to do like a bit of an updated do's and don'ts video. Yeah. So. Congratulations, I hope this satisfies your needs physically, spiritually and financially. Yeah, I hope so as well. To be honest with you, at the weekend it created a lot of anxiety for me, and I was feeling a little bit kind of like trapped, because I was more focused on the things that I couldn't do. Because on the end of the month, the last Sunday of the month, I like to do I do like a mental health walk in a local park near to me. So I try to get a few people together, and if anybody wants to join, I advertise it around different pages for the town, and anyone can come along and join just for a wander, get out in the fresh air, go for a walk, chat if they want to. But because I'm going to be working on a Sunday, as that's one of my contracted days, I won't be able to do that. So I was thinking of all of the different things it was taking away, and it was making me really kind of like feel a bit trapped, because I like my freedom, and my ego and everything was just like going absolutely crazy, and I had to go out. I had to go for a walk and just clear my head, and just in the end I just told my ego to just like shut the fuck up and stop talking shite, because it was just bringing up all these different things and reasons of why I shouldn't do this or I shouldn't do that, and and it was taking everything away, creating anxiety. So luckily in the end it did shut it up. Mike, hey, welcome. Do you think trees look at picnic tables and think they've made something out of themselves? They probably do, actually. They probably feel quite sad, because trees connect to each other, they communicate. Although the actual wood, it's come from a tree, it'll probably be like it won't say anything, but yeah. Mycelium, yes, the connection. Yeah, it's why that's why films like the Avatar and what have you, the worship the trees, and was it the Great Mother or something like that? It was called. There was a lot of tree worship, because they knew in that film, and they were telling us in that film that they are the key to everything. Majestic Chomps Maggies. Hello. What's Majestic Chomps Maggies? Is that like a dog channel? Is that Dog Chomps? Dog Chews? I don't know. Like, let me know. Let me know. Answers on a postcard, please. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is for the geese. Oh. Majestic Chomps Maggies. My geese. Oh, yeah, I get it. Yeah. Yeah, but welcome to the live. We had a little bit of a lively debate today. I did begin talking about meditation and why we see colours and images and faces and things, and then it kind of like went down a bit of a religious track, and people were bickering about this, that, and the other, and about their beliefs and what have you. Good, mate. Good. Been doing a lot of work. Day 14. Excellent. Well done. Yeah, the trees are really, really powerful. There's a certain point in the park where there's a big cluster of trees, and if I'm feeling like a bit stressed out that day or whatever, as soon as I start walking through them trees, I can just feel the energy being lifted off. Yeah, and you can feel like the little tingles in the energy as you're just walking through them. The trees are just amazing for the planet. We need trees. We need more of them. Yes, then we got sidetracked, AC. Absolutely. You look like the world's most handsome and cool guy. Literally, everyone fights to be your friend because of how cool you are. They don't. What time is it there? I always catch you so late here. It is 11:52 here currently. Where are you, Mike? Are you in the States? No, you'll be other side. What a great compliment. I know, yeah. Are you sure? You look super cool. Well, thank you. 6:52 in Michigan. So you just getting up now? I will take that, man. 3389. I'm super cool. I am super cool. You're damn right. I'm cool, man. Yeah, there is an early start, mind you. I was up. What time was it? Well, my alarm went off at 6, but I stayed in bed till about past this morning. But last couple of days, I've had pains in my ankle, my left ankle, and I've been trying to do a lot more walking lately to get my steps up. Because last week was a shit show for health and wellness and eating well and what have you. My diet last week was pretty crap. So I'm getting my steps up this week. I'm trying to walk more. Then I think I went a bit OTT, and I think that's why my foot's a little bit tender. Heck yeah. Where are you, man? Whereabouts in the world are you? Eating well will be one of the last pillars to fall for me personally. Yeah, I mean, whatever we put in our body, whatever we're consuming, whatever we're listening to, whatever we're saying to ourselves, whatever we're consuming from the TV, from the media, whatever we're putting in our mouth, whatever we're sticking up our nose, whatever we're listening to, how we're speaking to ourselves. You know, consuming isn't just about what we're eating, it's every aspect of life. So, yeah, we just got to be aware of that, haven't we? And it takes time. I mean, over this sort of like last, I suppose, 5 years, I've been more aware of how I eat when I'm stressed, and I eat crap when I'm stressed, or I eat a lot when I'm stressed. When I'm not stressed and I'm more calm, I eat better, I eat well, and I feel better for it. And I perform better for it, and I think better for it. I'm more focused because then you're not full of like processed stuff, you're not full of sugars, you're not full of junk food basically, and you're working on a better level physically, mentally and emotionally. Western Australia, welcome from Australia. Is dubstep and house music okay? I think house music's alright. I don't know what dubstep is. I don't really. I mean, I used to listen to house music when I was at the gym. One of the gyms I used to work at, and they used to play house music, and it was alright, but I didn't really pay much attention to it. It was just kind of like there in the background. But you're probably better off listening to like the music that I've got playing. You know, more calm. It's going to help your vibration more. It's going to help you feel more clear, more calm, more focused, more self-aware. And also some of the Hertz music. Yeah, send me a playlist. Send me an email. I'll listen to it and I'll see. Because again, a lot of music, all the music's been regenerated. It's been changed. The frequency's changed. And that was to do with the Rockefellers. The Rockefeller Foundation did a lot of that. They changed all the frequency of music, so then it would affect people mentally and emotionally. So yeah, that's why. I mean, I don't really. I mean, I do listen to music, but I don't listen to as much as what I used to. And usually now, if I have music on, it's either this, or it's like earth sounds, or it's white noise. White noise is really good, or rainfall, or ASMR. 432 hertz, 526 hertz, 989 hertz. That sort of music. That tends to be what I listen to, and then. When I'm in meditation as well, it really helps me to get into meditation. Mike, can you mention some of the tracks you're listening to? Well, the track that I'm listening to at the minute is, if you put into YouTube, 5 hours bamboo and flute music, that's what this is, and it's off Mark Bayersky's YouTube channel. Have you heard of binaural beats? I have. Fasting works well for me as well as walking. It may sound cliche, but I do commune in nature. It rests my vibe. Yeah, I think we all need to. We all need to connect to nature more. It just helps you to relax, because nature is extremely healing. You know, that's what that's what a lot of shamanism and esoteric and mystical beliefs are about, and witchcraft and Wicca and what have you. I believe it was changed from 432 to 400. Yeah, it was something like that, AC. I think it was something like it went from 432 either to 400 or 440. So it was just slightly off kilter, so it didn't quite fit. Tyler Durden, what is the purpose of this life? Do you mean this life or this live? Christine Sherman, hello, how are you? Hello, I'm very well. How are you? I need purpose. Well, currently, Mike, your purpose is looking after you. It's taking care of you. It's taking care of what you need to do for you. And there is nothing selfish in that. And currently, you're just getting yourself back into a nice even keel, um, and focusing on you, focusing on balancing your mind, balancing your body, balancing your energy, and focusing on what you want to put into your body, what you want to consume, and you're just getting yourself healthy. And once you start to get yourself healthier, then you'll be more inclined to find something that will actually feed your purpose. And that's the direction you want to take. Exactly, starting to love yourself again. That's what you need. That's what everyone needs to do. Everyone needs to find that love for themselves, that love for life. Yeah, and not be so misdirected by the world that's out there, the stuff that's trying to create fear and create illusion and all that sort of crap. Just disconnect from it. You don't need it. There is a guide or a book to help us learn anything in this life except life itself. Well, exactly. I mean, what I tell you about what the purpose of life is will be totally different to the next person and to the next person, because your life is unique to you and you are unique to life. And the reason why I have this channel, the reason why I do these discussions, and the reason why I talk about meditation and finding yourself is because once you find yourself, you find exactly who you are, and you will find the direction you need to take, and you will find what life is all about. And life can either, you can either live life and be with life, or you can just let life happen to you. So if you're with it and you want to be with it, then you're going to follow it. You're going to follow your divine calling. You're going to follow your intuition, whatever you want to call it. You'll follow your purpose. But if you let life just happen to you, then you'll just kind of like you'll just muddle along, and you'll just follow that. And sometimes it takes courage to just say, right, okay, I'm just going to stop here, and just take a breath, take a breather, take a break. I'm going to focus more on me. I'm going to focus on what I want to do, direction that I want to take, and not the direction that other people want me to take. Full disclosure, life confuses me. Life confuses me too. I don't have the answer to everything, but I have to, when I feel confused by something, years ago when I had mental health, when I had anxiety and depression, I would have just been overwhelmed with it all. Now I know how to deal with it. Now I know how to kind of like tactfully go with it, and I follow my intuition. I follow what my soul is telling me to do. So I will go for a walk, I'll go for a meditation, I will do some EFT on myself, I'll do some Reiki on myself, I will take 5 minutes out, I'll do a self-healing session on myself. Whatever I feel called to do, there is where the answer will lead me. Because you become more connected to yourself, you understand your own energy, you understand what you're feeling. Once you start to build that practice up, I've been doing this for like 20 odd years, but once you start building that practice up, you become more harmonious with yourself, and you understand why you're feeling certain things, why you're doing things in a certain way, why you feel so out of sync with yourself, and maybe out of sync with life and reality, because you become more aware of yourself and more aware of your energy. And when you don't become aware of it, you become more aware of that too. Because then you think, okay, things aren't adding up here. This doesn't feel right. What do I need to do for this? And then you make the decision of what your heart is telling you to do. Where are we? Everyone's enlightened in the spiritual teacher nowadays. You're absolutely right. Everyone's a life coach. But a lot of life coaches they've done a weekend course and then decide to call themselves a life coach. So they have very little idea about life. Airhead, you cannot poison your body with chemicals and expect it to get well. Same with your mind. You cannot put toxic thoughts or images continuously into your mind and expect it to be sane. Sharing love, absolutely. First 7 days of the week are the hardest. Eating is the real deal. Gratitude are the best medicines for the soul, absolutely. Yeah, it takes a lot of courage to quit what people tell you to do and do what you really have to. Absolutely. That scares people. When you actually start doing stuff for you, that you have to do for you, then the gremlins come out of the coffin. They start to reveal themselves. These people that have been around you for years, that have classed themselves as your friends, as soon as you change direction, you want to improve your life, they either disappear and you have no connection to them, or they will try to tempt you back in to different things. So yeah, they really start to show the true colours then. Sorry, I don't know what I've done there. I'm looking for more of a purpose. I feel life itself is the biggest science fiction film I've ever been in. Well, here's the deal, about life itself is, and I've covered this a lot in various videos, and a lot of other people that have, like hypnotherapists like Dolores Cannon, have talked about, that you are the producer, director, scriptwriter, star, and you're also already in the wings, and all the people waiting to come into your life are in the wings as well, waiting to come in. But you are all of them. So you can change that script, you can change that scene, you can change that act, you can change that place wherever you're at by just doing one thing. And that is just changing that. Change your mind, change your outlook, become the actor, become the director, become the producer, become the script writer, and write your own script and rewrite it. Yeah, it's not going to happen in a day, but what does? All these people that they're looking for this solution to something, but they don't want to take the time to then redirect themselves onto a new pathway, because there's always that fear that, well, what if it's the wrong pathway? What if that isn't meant for me? So then you come back and you start again. You start a new pathway, you go down another avenue. But all along that way, all these different pathways that you take, think of all the courage and all the learning and all the stepping into fear and worry that you're doing. And that is actually healing you, because you're stepping into fear. You're not doing things that's comfortable, you're doing things that's uncomfortable. And from being uncomfortable, you create comfort, you would create more harmony. So that's what you need to do every now and again. You need to step into that fear, you need to step into that worry and create that. And that is where your soul, your learning, everything will take you in the right direction that you need to go. And that is how eventually we find purpose. We find purpose from the pain. The problem is when you're a good person and others cheat you and you suffer for others' mistakes. But now you've learned that, right? So you don't let that happen again. I get caught in bad rituals. My own worst critic. Everyone's got their own critic. Everyone's got their inner dialogue. Everyone's got an ego. That is undeniable. You're never going to get rid of an ego. You're never going to get rid of your ego, because it's your human right to have an ego. It's who you are. The ego is always there to, if you think of the yin and yang concept, the ego is like the yang, and your actual divine self is your yin, and you're just creating balance from that. That's what it's all about. It's all about creating that balance of understanding your ego, understanding what it's saying, why it's there, what it's doing, and knowing that it's there, Once you have a clear acceptance and understanding of it, then everything becomes easier, because then you know what the ego is and you know what is right, what feels right. You go more with your feeling rather than what the ego creating the fear. The ego is just fear-based stuff. That's all the ego is all the time. It's always telling you that you're not good enough, you're not going to be able to do this, you won't succeed, that's going to go wrong, all this sort of stuff. But once you have an understanding of that, of what it is and why it's there, and you're going through the deeper levels of healing to understand deeper, on a much deeper level, because a lot of it can be trauma driven, a lot of it can be life driven, of things that just occur, that create this stuff, that bring all this stuff up from within us. You know, Eckhart Tolle calls it like the pain body, where your body holds on to the emotions that you've gone through in life. So, you know, if you're holding on to a lot of trauma, you're bound to have something like an arthritis, or you'll have something in your joints, you'll have something in maybe like a nervous system reaction to it, you know, because you're holding on to all this stuff and the body's talking to you, the body's trying to give you this information. I don't really care about people. The only two I worry about are my parents, and I know that's temporary. But after they're gone, marriage, kids, and then die of old age. Yeah, but it's kind of like it. If you look at it in that concept, it's kind of like a bit of a. It's a little bit of kind of like a defeatist sort of way of looking at it, even though, yeah, it's the truth, and that is like the three-dimensional realm that we're living in. That is what we have. We've got our parents, we've got our loved ones, we've got our family. But beyond that, we've got something much deeper that we can discover. And once you find it and you discover it and you go deeper, you go into your meditation practice, you go into your, whether it's art, creativity, getting into nature, whatever it could be, you're connecting to that deeper aspect of you, and then you start to realize there's something bigger about life, there's something more going on in life that so many of us are totally unaware of. Buddhist Zen Harmony. Ahead, I wish you all the best in your new endeavours. Unfortunately, I must go and prepare for my day. It's always good to catch you streaming. We'll look for you again. Best vibes coming. Thank you very much. There are some things that can assist in ego death. DMT, but it's a wild ride. Do you enjoy cocaine? Never had it. One takes from one, there is not equal. Zen is not understanding, it's an equal balance, absolutely. Your true purpose is to exist. In that existence you create the best environment, then you invite others, and that environment give purpose to your existence. Yeah, if body and mind are in sync, the soul will prosper. Buddhists are not about preaching. Absolutely, they're not. Right, so there we go. So we've had quite a wild ride of a conversation today. We've been around the houses today. Bit of all sorts has come up. So yeah. Thank you, Majestic. I hope you've subscribed. If you're new here as well, please do subscribe to the channel. I've got just under 2,000 videos now here on the channel. You can go and check out all sorts of stuff to do with Reiki, meditation, different spiritual practices, ways of developing your spiritual powers, things like that, and meditations, hypnotherapy sessions, EFT sessions. There's all sorts on here. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed the live. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sending me the loves, the likes, the comments. It's been some really, really great conversation. I am going to head off in a moment because I've been on for just over an hour. But yeah, it's been lovely to chat and to connect to some beautiful new souls. I hope you've heard what you need to hear today. I hope there's been some messages that maybe resonate on some level for you guys, that may be either just stepping on your journey, or maybe you've been on your journey for quite some time. I don't know. But yeah, I hope it helps on some level, and hopefully I'll see you in another live soon. I'll see you in another video soon in the ever-present future. So much love. Thank you for being here. Take care, and toodaloo for now. Bye-bye. You're welcome. See you later, Mike. See you later, Tyler. AC. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for Majestic Chomps for being here, and everybody else. It's been lovely. Toodaloo.